Okay. Hi everybody and welcome to a new app. So this is to help you finish your game. So I've got my home screen here and then I've got my screen 2 here. And basically I will show you what the game looks like. So I click on go to game and that just brings me to the second screen. There's a little home screen button to bring me back to the home screen. Obviously this button can go wherever you want, but in this game all I have is a button here, a label that is controlled by a variable, and then I have an image view here which is blank at the moment but is controlled by another variable that if the second variable, like called finish score, reaches 5, then it'll say game over, you win. So let's play the game. Let's say these were buttons and you had to click on them. It changes this by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5. So when you get to 5, you win. And then you can go and continue on. Okay, so that's basically the ins and outs of this app. Let me go and make it for you now. Okay, so we'll go File, New Project. And I'm just going to call it Game Example. Create. Okay, as in the example I showed you, the first thing I want to do is I want to add another screen. So I'm going to go into my main storyboard. I'm going to go into the library. And I'm going to add another view controller. Drag that out. So we've got 2 view controllers. Okay, this is going to be my first one. And so on this, all I need is a button, which will bring us to the game, if you remember. And I'll also put a label, just so we're clear that this is the home screen. So I'm just going to edit them now while I'm here. So there's our home screen, and then this button is just going to say go to game. And I'm going to make it bigger. Size 50 is plenty big. And then I press Control and I just link it to my game screen. Okay, and we show it. So now we're finished with that screen. Okay, we just leave it there. Now, if you remember, because this is our bonus round screen, this has to have a Cocoa touch file connected to it. So we've got to do that. So it's File, New, File. Cocoa touch class next. And I'm going to give it the name Game Screen. So I know which one is called Game Screen. And that's okay. And we go next. Create. Then we want to assign it here. So I go to my main storyboard, click on the view controller, click here on the identity inspector, and I want to change this to, I want to change that to game screen. That's the one we want. Okay, so the Swift file associated with this one is called game screen. Okay, so that's that done. Now, we want to open that Swift file. First of all, we want a few things on this. If you remember, if I go back to the thing, I had a button there, a label there, an image view there, and another button there. So let's do the two buttons first. So I'll go plus, and I'll go button, and I'll drag it out. And then I'll increase the size up to 30. That's fine. And this is going to increase the score. Okay. Then we want another button. And this is for our home image, our home button. Oops, not home, it says button. I'll drag that. And now I'm not putting constraints and I'm not trying to control the position. I just want the app to work functionally. So this one is going to go back to there. Okay. So it's going to, I'm going to use an image actually, and I don't have the images yet. So now I'm going to go and get the two images. So I'm going to click on assets here. I'm going to click on Finder. I have this image and I have this home image. So I'm going to bring both of these images into my assets folder. Now I search 150 by 150 for both of these. So I'll go back to Xcode. Actually, I'm in Xcode. Go back to the main storyboard. And on this button here, I just want the home button. So I can go in here for image and go home. That's nice, okay? I'm not worried about the position. You can move it a little bit if you want. Then we want a label that won't change, and then we want the label that will control the variable that will change. And we also want an image view. Okay, that's fine. And then we need an image view down here that will say you win. Image view. So now we have all the elements. I just want this one to say player 1 score. Okay, that's not going to change. I've spelled score wrong. Now I just make the size a bit bigger. 30. Okay. So that's the outside of our app. And what happens is, you might have a lot of pictures up here that are inside buttons, and if the score is increasing, it'll increase here. And when it gets to 5, we want this UI image view to show you have won. The game is over. That's how this works. The score, the variable inside this label will keep increasing until 5. When it gets to 5, then this will show, if this is on 5, this shows that picture you win. That's how it works. So now we have to go into the Swift coding part. Okay? So let's just main storyboard, leave that there so visually we can see it. And then on this side, we'll make that a little bit smaller. I am going to add the assistant. Okay? So once again, we go inside the view controller here. This is where everything is going to go. This is where it's going to get a bit complicated, guys, so let's stay with me. So the first thing, as we've done this before, I'm just going to move that here so we can see this. This is not going to change. This will change. Okay? So we've got to give it a name. So I'm just going to call it score label. We can assign, we now have something to work with. Then this image view, we have to do the same. And I'm going to call it image view. What do we have on that image, if I remember correctly? Let's just go back here. U1. So that's what I'm going to call it. U1. Okay? And if you remember, we need a variable to control this. So I need a variable called score equals 0. Then I need another variable to control this variable. I'm going to call it finish because the game is over, equal to 4. So the reason this is, I'm now going to say if this button is pressed, increase the score. When the score is greater than finish variable, show the image here. That's how this is all going to work. So now we need to bring out the button. And if you kind of say it in English, remember this is an action, and this is just going to be press button. Okay, so when it presses the button, everything's going to go inside here. Inside the button, this is where everything happens. So inside the button where I am now, remember, all this is inside the button. I'm going to say, when the button is pressed, change the score by 1. So score, we've done this before, is plus equals 1. Now we've changed the score by 1. And we want to show that here. So in score label, that text equals string, hopefully you can remember this a little bit, string score. So what we're doing here is we'll have to figure out what's going on there. Well, I think I have to put the plus first. That's what I did wrong there. Yeah. So now we've said to it, when the button is pressed, I'd like to have them like that. When the button is pressed, change the score by 1, and then into this label, put that value. So that's what we're telling it there. Okay. I don't think we put a link on that button for home. Let me check that. So that, no, we didn't. This one is supposed to go, when it's clicked, back to that one. Okay, so I fixed that little problem that I had there. Okay, so now the two screens are linked. So let's just build this again because I didn't like that feature. So we can go home and then we can go to game. This is what you will probably have somewhere. Then when we increase the score, we are increasing the score by 1. But look, we don't have anything controlling the UI image. That's what we need. So what we have to do now is we're going to say if the score is greater than finish value, right? That's what we're asking it. If the score is greater than the finish value, we want this label to show the image, this image. Show me the assets, U1. So that's what we're writing here. So I have said to it, so I'm saying if the score, which always starts at 0, if it's greater than finished, that means if the score is 5, it's greater than finished, then we want to change the image view U1 image. You remember this, I think it was in video 8 how to do this. And we want it to say UI image named, and then the name of the file. If we go back here to assets, I called it, I think, U11. We wanted to show that file. So I haven't put it in here, U11. So that is looking, I hope, okay. I'm going to bring that over, just gives a bit more space on the right hand side. So let's just check everything. It's given us an error message for something. I think there could be a space there. Okay. So image view U1, image view U1, that's correct, that image, UI image named U1. Okay. Use of, let me see if I can figure this out. Image view U1. So it's telling me image view. Oh, there. I have no capital. That's what's wrong. See, sometimes you have to look at it and figure out I forgot the capital. Now it's telling me it's working. So I'm saying when the button is pressed, change the score. Put the score into that label. But if the score is greater than the finish, i.e. if the score is 5, then show in this image view, show this picture, which is U1. So let's test this. So I can go home, I can go to game, and I'm on the second screen. I increase the score, I increase the score, I increase the score. This could be different buttons. I increase the score, and you won. So how you could use this in your game, you could have a question like here, identify the squares, and have like eight buttons here with 8 different types of squares or circles. And if they get it wrong, it decreases their score. If they get it right, it increases their score. But you could have the image change in U1. Okay, hope you enjoyed, and hopefully you'll be able to use these skills in your game. Thanks very much for watching, guys.